Anna and I are documentary wedding photographers, so we wanted to take a chance and talk to you about what the experience is like on your wedding day with us there.
Basically, we like to get there about 2 hours before the wedding ceremony because about 30 minutes before the ceremony, it's an all stop. Everybody is done with what they're doing and everyone's preparing to go down the aisle. So about 2 hours before the ceremony starts, we like to arrive and take photos of details such as the rings and dress and flowers and everything like that, and maybe get a little bit of setup, other people interacting and arriving, and also the very tail end of the bride and groom getting ready. So you're basically done, but it's just kind of like a little touch-up makeup and things like that.
And then with the guys, I'm always with them. Usually I start out with the bride earlier in the day, and then I transition over to the groom as the groom actually arrives. Because usually the bride takes 3-4 hours to get ready, and sometimes we do arrive several hours before the wedding to make sure we want to document your wedding day. So then once the groom arrives, or if I go to a separate location where the groom is preparing, I go there and get the groom and all of his men getting ready. Usually it's the guys just hanging out, having a really great time.
Right, because the guys take like a fraction of the time that the ladies take to get ready. But
it's like tie, there we go, or bow tie.
Cufflinks.
Yeah. So then after that, we go on to the actual ceremony. Of course, we try to get there, about 5 minutes before about 5 minutes prior to the wedding. We'll usually step out and go get ready for the wedding ceremony. If there was time, I probably set up a wireless camera. We use a wireless camera during the ceremony, sometimes two, if there's a location that we want to have an angle from, but we don't want to go there during the ceremony. So that would be like in front of the guests. We don't want to walk in front of guests, but if we can hide a camera where nobody can see it, including us, and it allows us to have a different angle than we would have otherwise, of course we want to use it.
And for example, like a church, up in the church balcony, that's basically one photograph. So we'll put the camera up there to get that photograph.
Right, or a balcony outside. If there's anywhere that we can get a different vantage point is always good. And setting it up ahead of time helps us just prepare for it.
And during the ceremony, we also are very respectful. It's a sacred event. It's your wedding. So we don't flash during ceremonies. Obviously, outside, there's no need to, but inside a church, we never flash during ceremonies. Also, we're very respectful to the prayers, and we don't like to take photographs during the prayer. We'll see a photograph and wait for the moment. We'll wait for the amen, and then click right at the end. But
well, and we try to be respectful to the priest or whoever is the officiant. Just because with the officiant, we want to respect what they think we should be. We just want to be respectful to the requests. Sometimes they'll have some where it's just, don't get too close. We normally don't get closer than 30 feet during the ceremony. We have really good lenses. We have lenses that have the zoom so that we don't have to get close. And that's kind of part of our point, is to be, if you want to be unobtrusive, you have to be able to get a wonderful photograph from a distance.
And with the two of us shooting during the ceremony, we typically have a game plan. Like I'm at the rear of the aisle and Spencer's up at the front near the altar, crouching in front of the groom's mother on that side. And so what happens is I get the bride walking down and he gets the bride coming down the aisle. Right. And that's the most he's ever intrusive during the ceremony ever.
I always talk to the mother of the groom, usually so I'm in front of, and I usually say, sorry, I'll only 1 minute.
And she's like, fine.
Yeah, if I can see her earlier, I try to tell her.
Yeah, but then once he gets that photo, and then sometimes he'll turn and get the groom's reaction, and I'll try to get that as well. And then we switch. I move up towards the front. And
not that far front, but
I move as far up as it's reasonable.
Right.
And I stick with one lens the entire ceremony. It's a zoom lens, and I like to stick with the same lens because every once in a while there are little differences in each ceremony. I don't want to be changing a lens when something important's happening. So I'm the steady one getting that angle, and then Spencer has a different.
Yeah, I'm on the other side, whereas Anna doesn't want to change lenses because she doesn't want to miss a moment, which is great. I changed lenses like crazy, very quietly. I actually put them out like during, before the ceremony, if I have time. I set them out in different locations where I know I'm going to go and use that lens, and I change to it when I'm there, take the shot, and put it back down. It's pretty funny.
It's fun. I have to go find all the lenses after this.
Yeah, so we have like 4 lenses strewn about throughout your ceremony site. Whatever. So I usually go to the back to get a very wide shot, and then I'll go to the side, and I'll usually get, using a more zoom lens. It's a fixed zoom lens, though, wonderful image. And I'll get that from the side to be able to get the groom's perspective. And then once the first kiss happens, I usually go back towards the middle again, put on the 85, which is my favorite lens, 85 1.2, and get the first kiss and the coming down the aisle. Those are some of my favorite shots to be able to get, and I always do my best to strive to get them while I'm getting you coming down the aisle, and it gets you from the other perspective,
Yeah,
going
just from
up
the
the aisle.
side.
Yeah, or from the side, or sometimes you move around. We do what we can. And then, of course, right after the ceremony, I'm following you guys.
Yeah.
Like, FYI, yes, you have groomsmen and bridesmaids, and they're all coming down. It's really about you. That's some of the best moments of your wedding day are right there, right after your ceremony, when you have a moment together and you're married. Like, it's just a wonderful moment.
And it's right before everyone gets there and
Right.
congratulates you. It's like literally 30 seconds to 1 minute of just you.
Right. And it's so great. Like, you won't notice that we're there. And I'm a ways away anyway. I'm usually 30 feet, 15, 30 feet, maybe even more. I'm pretty far away, so that you can't even hear the click of my shutter ideally. But the main thing is that you're focusing on each other and realizing that you're married, and that's just such a wonderful moment. And then all your friends come in and start congratulating you and your parents.
It's nice and
They come in,
happy
and it's
and-
extremely exciting. So much happens, and we are there to capture all of that because we followed you. We are there to capture all of that happening, all the congratulatory, the hugs, the crying, everything that happens right then. And then right after that, we go on to the group shots typically. A lot of our clients...
Sometimes they're beforehand, depending on what you want. But most of the time, most people expect them to be after the ceremony.
Well, and some of our clients don't want the group shots, and that's fine with us. Like, we prefer to have a documentary style. However, we normally do group shots. I'd say at least 80% of the time, we do group shots right after the ceremony. We like it then because it gives a time constraint. Beforehand, you don't have a time constraint if you take them before the ceremony. And
you do a little bit. You're trying to aim for the ceremony, but everyone
Right,
wants to get to the reception after the ceremony.
Right, you're
so.
more, and we like that because they're more apt to pay attention. They're more apt to get in the shot quickly and move on, and we go very quick, very fun. We make sure everybody's having a good time. They remember just having a good time and not so much the group, like having to stand for group photographs.
Yeah, not a grueling experience.
Yeah, it's very fun, quick, 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, and we usually go from large to small. So bride's family, extended family, immediate
as
family,
big, yeah.
parents and siblings, and then and then same thing with the groom's family, and then bridesmaids, groomsmen, bridal party.
Yeah, but even those we do pretty quick. Like, we don't usually do elaborate group setup shots for the brides and the groomsmen, for the bridesmaids and the groomsmen. If you want that, we can do it, but we really think that your wedding is about spending time with your...
Say if it's where we have available chairs or something outside, we can pull in chairs from the congregation, and we can have people sitting and standing and just make it interesting in that way.
Yeah.
But,
and so then after that, we continue on to the reception. And
it's basically whatever schedule you've planned out for the different events. We pray very documentary at that point. Occasionally, we have a couple that have a cocktail hour, and they intentionally have that because they want to take a few photos together. And we can do that. Yeah, we've done that before, but we really recommend a day after for something like that.
Like, we really feel that on a wedding day, it's about you spending time with your friends and family at your wedding, celebrating.
And it's not a
your
photo
marriage.
shoot. It's your wedding. You should be there with everyone.
Right, but if you want the photographs together, we can do some on the day, but if you want a whole lot or a lot of options or not have to worry about the dress getting dirty...
Or you'd love a different location or more advanced lighting than we can do on the wedding day itself. Like, day after, we could have a softbox and more advanced lighting and things like that.
Just easier to set up. It's usually pretty big. It takes about 5 minutes to set up, and then just time eats away pretty quickly on wedding day. So a day after is very nice. It's kind of like have a glass of wine, just we're having a good time,
Relax.
we're just relaxing and having some great photographs.
And day after, and we've probably clarified this other places, doesn't have to be literally the day after. That's what we call it.
As long as it's local. If it's destination, then it usually is the day after.
Yes, but if it's, say, local, and it's usually within the month.
And so then after that, reception, and then the going away. It's very easy, very relaxed. And the reception, one of our things that we try to do is we want you to remember the moment and not us photographing the moment. We just feel that we shouldn't be intrusive. If we're seen, that's okay. We're not trying to hide, but we don't want to get in the way. We don't want to get in the middle of things. We don't want to be the center of attention. We want you guys to be the center of attention, your guests to be the center of attention. We want you to be having a good time and not even have to worry about the photographs. I mean, we've got them.